What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Cartel. This show is going to be about last cycle. We had ETH killers, and if you got in Sol, if you got an Avalanche, Phantom early, you made millions and really outperformed the market. And Solana has kind of emerged as the ETH killer this cycle. And we think this cycle is actually going to be about Solana killers. So we're going to look at some potential Solana killers today and do some analysis for you guys if we're bullish or not on them. And really what we want to know is it worth diving deeper into them, into getting some altcoins, some meme coin exposure, and really looking for those crazy 25, 50x, 100x gains that we saw last cycle for ETH killers. We think it's going to be with Solana killers. So with that being said, let's just take a quick look at Bitcoin today. So Alex, you see my screen, right? I think you might be on mute, Alex.
Yeah, I see it.
Awesome. So, yeah, as always, we want to take a quick look at Bitcoin because that's going to be the North Star for the market of what we're going to do next. This is the daily time frame. Something that's, I think, a little bit of concern for me is, remember I mentioned the monthly open the last couple of streams, and you can see this has really been a pivotal area here where if we zoom in, we really haven't been able to get this acceptance above this area, right? Like on the 4 hour we did, but it's just been some wicks. And that's really not what you want to see if you're a bull. Like you want to be above this line, and you can see this month, 2 months ago in August, we also couldn't get above the monthly open, and we spent the whole month below it. Whereas in September, we broke through it about midway and retested it, and basically it was a green month as we traded above the monthly open. So not what you want to be seeing, some rejection here, but it's not the worst thing in the world, right? It just means maybe we have a little bit more consolidation to do. We also have CPI coming up. I believe it's tomorrow. So maybe just some de-risking ahead of that. And really, the market's going to look for direction based on how CPI comes out. So, depending on what comes out, I could see maybe a scam wick, and we come back and decide basically whether we're going to make this a higher low or what would concern me is if we're moving up beforehand, before the CPI, maybe people anticipate a good CPI, and it actually comes out, maybe it's CPI is high, right? And the Fed is going to have to either keep not hike, but not be able to lower rates either. So that obviously wouldn't be good for risk assets. And maybe we make a lower high, maybe come back and test 58. That's the first area that I think we could see a potential bid. I have this white box here where I think is for me an area that I want to personally be bidding and buying altcoins with the stop loss of around like 50, really like 56 is where I'd be concerned if we're spending a lot of time like down here and not really bouncing above this high here, 58. So just there's some near-term chop basically, and that's to be expected, especially going into the election. Long term, I think obviously still in a range. Buy at the bottom of the range, sell at the top. We're kind of in the middle here, and I want to see. The reason I have this box here is I want to see this midline kind of hold as a support. So that's really what I'm looking for here, going into tomorrow into CPI. What are your thoughts on that, Alex?
No, I mean, I echo the same thing as you were presenting that. We did talk about it last week, and I gave the bullish and the bearish scenario. So let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, and we're going into the 60s right now.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
So it's pretty rough day in crypto today. Yeah. Okay. No, I just see you right now.
All right, give me a second.
It'll be interesting to see, on red days, I like to look at like what's showing strength, like what's holding up when everything is selling off. I think those are really when the market kind of tips his hand, is like these are going to be the strong coins to be bidding
Absolutely.
up, because they're going to bounce the hardest when the market turns around.
Do you see it now?
Yep.
All right, awesome. So yeah, I mean, going back to last week, we were talking about how we were breaking this down. We did the retest, and from that retest, we pulled back to, we're getting rejected. We didn't hold this region here, as you can see. We wanted to in the 4 hour. We wanted to here, but in a way that made us shoulder, head and shoulder, and we kind of dumped to the downside. So I mean, this rise in pattern did play out, and we're looking to go.
I remember you mentioning that trend line.
Right.
You're like, if we break this trend, we're going lower, and it's really
Yeah,
exactly what happened.
exactly. And then one of the things that I was expecting was a bounce off the 786 Fibonacci sequence, but I mean, it's not carrying right now, and we're actually closed below the 200 MA. And if you go back in time, every time we close below a 200 MA, it's just like dump city. So one of the things that I'll be looking at right now is this support region, right? Do we retest the lower lows that we had in 59 earlier this month? But essentially, kind of like what you said, I have the same here. I have this region here. But I did, when I saw this bullish divergence here on the 4 hour and then the pump, I had a feeling that we were going to dump and potentially do a double bottom. So I do see that happening. If we don't hold that double bottom or make, for example, I'd like to see something like this, right? So I was hoping to see something like this, right? So we have a double bottom here, but we also have like a double bottom here, but the price is a little lower, which gives us bullish divergence. But overall, this is looking a bit bearish in all senses.
And you also have that lower high, right, at 63, where we got to 65, and you could be
Yes,
forming like a sort of a downtrend there.
exactly. So, and that's yeah. Thank you for saying that. So one thing we can see is a bounce off of this one here, the blue line, which is in the
57.
57 range. Yeah. Ideally, maybe bid there, and if not, worst comes to shove. One thing I do not want to see above anything is breaking down this trend line. This one right here, right, where we're making higher lows, and so I can see if maybe we did this right. Maybe we did break out, right? So we broke out from this trend from July, right? We broke out, and what we're doing is maybe retesting this again, this area, right, at the sweet spot, which is 56, 57. If we do close below, I don't like it, because what we're going to do then is eventually do that retest exactly like we did up here. So we'll dump down, do the retest here, and if we can't get back up, we just go lower. I don't see that happening. I hope not, but I think this is very pivotal right here. Right, this is the sweet spot, right? Is this area
Yeah,
here?
basically around 57, like what the same
56,
area that I'm
exactly.
like below this,
Exactly.
I'm bearish.
Yeah. So, and then one of the things that you did bring up, which is very crucial, is also the CPI report. If it's tomorrow, then yeah, I mean, we might see some insane volatility. And I think that if we are bullish overall, because I'm still playing that bullish sense in general, just because we're in elections, and I know that's just kind of dumb to say that, okay, I'm bullish because of the elections, but that's the only reason why I can be bullish. We want to look good for the CPI right before. I'm sorry, we want to look good for the elections before the CPI. So one of the things I can't see is what you said too. We wick down really low, and then we just grab people. People want to probably sell, and then we just go back up, and then we continue to the upside there. But I mean, again, it's kind of tough to say. It's a little early, and we also want to see the elections, how they played out. So that's my analysis for BTC. Now moving on to total three. It's one of those things that kind of look exactly the same, right? Kind of had the same idea when I was bidding some alts right here in the 575, 75, 71 billion. But what I do see is also potentially a double bottom, maybe a wick to the downside, and then from there we kind of swing back up. And if that happens, I think that would be the perfect time to bid for alts. I was considering going into this with leverage, but again, we have to see how this plays out, and I don't want to make any reckless moves, right? But let's just say we do have a bad day and things don't work out the way we want it to. It is a 10. I mean, this looks like a shoulder, head and shoulder to the downside, and this would be nasty. right? And this would be off of some really bad news. I don't know what it could be, but you see the formation.
It's like a 20% move, man. That's literally like a massive dump that
Exactly,
happens.
and that's a little dangerous, right? But I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but I like to put out the scenarios, right? I mean, that scenario is, and it looks kind of like a beautiful head and shoulder, right? And so that's one thing to keep in mind. If we're bearish, if we're bullish, I want to see a double bottom, right? You see, we did that. We do a little lower low here, but we swing higher here, and that's going to be perfect because then we're forming a double bottom and a W pattern, right? Which is something that we do want to see if we want to go to the upside, right? So it'll be something like this. There you go, like that, and then boom, and then we're off to Valhalla, right? So that's my analysis for this one. Let's see what happens tomorrow. And again, this month in elections is going to be pivotal for almost everything related to finance and crypto. So it's just a matter of time, right? Got to take it day by day.
Yeah. I think I'll go ahead and take over. So
yeah, sounds good. Give me a second. Let me share your screen.
So yeah, I think do definitely some concerning things on the chart. But it's not completely over. It's just some near term chop, but things to keep an eye on. I do think that even if Bitcoin dips, even if we lose this midline, overall, this is where I think we're going. So any dips and anything where the market's like really red, kind of like today, I think is an opportunity to really start buying into alts, start buying into future leaders. And that's kind of what today's show is about. So, we mentioned the topic of like Solana killers. And I think we have a few here that have kind of emerged as candidates. I think the main one that has really taken center stage that we've talked about in past shows is Sui. So this is a Sui versus Sol chart that I've picked up here.
That's a nice pattern that you made there. That looks good.
Yeah, so I think kind of like a double bottom here,
like
sort
a
of
shoulder,
like
head and shoulder
a range.
Almost. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, you kind of have like a range here, right? And this is by the way, this is a pair. So this is Sui versus Sol. So when this is going down, Sol is outperforming Sui, and you can see recently Sui has gone up versus Sol since the bottom, and it's basically outperformed Sol by 2x, right? So this is something to look at if you want to know when to be bullish, Sui versus Sol, right? If you're deciding between buying the two. And again, the topic is Solana killers, and we've done our research on the Sui ecosystem and the meme coin ecosystem that's really emerging out of there, and there's a lot of opportunity. So I think first things we can look at versus Sol, then maybe versus Bitcoin. I think pretty simple versus Sol. You could maybe see another push. I think in this area, you're going to start to see a little bit of resistance here, and you're kind of starting to see it already. And I do expect that it'll pierce this area at some point, just because it's the new chain, it's the new kid on the block. Like people that missed the Sol trade, they're going to try to catch it on the Sui trade, and it's also it's providing a use case for the most in-demand thing in crypto, which is just being chips at the casino. Like, people got tired of the Sol casino. They tried out Tron. Now they're going into the Sui casino. And what do you need to get into the Sui casino? You got to buy Sui chips, which is the Sui L1 token itself. So I think that is a long-term like structural trend that I see. But near term, you're facing this resistance, and there is maybe you see some relative strength out of Sol, or maybe Sui just powers through. I don't know. I'm not going to try to predict it. Right now I'm just kind of observing. Now versus Bitcoin, I think this looks like super bullish. And you can see it's kind of close to making all-time highs versus Bitcoin. So I'll just go ahead and clean this up here. And I had this trend line drawn here at the bottom of what I thought I could be a bottom, and basically just showing a lot of strength versus Bitcoin, right? Like if we think about what Sui has done in the past month, it's gone like 4x, right? And Bitcoin has basically gone sideways. So that's why this chart looks the way it does. Now, the question is, do we have some resistance here, right? Then and it's kind of struggling to get over that, and we also have another resistance here. Um, but overall, I'd say the trend is bullish. You can see here, like the moving averages are basically giving you bull signals, which means if you want to bet with the trend, like dips are for buying. Um, and then just looking at the regular dollar pair, I mean, it came up right against all time high, and wasn't able to break it. But I think once it does, you're going to see this thing in price discovery. So looking bullish against Sol, maybe not near term, but opportunities to get positioned. And then versus Sui, I mean versus Bitcoin, I think uh, it's just showing a lot of strength. It's kind of coming into like this W pattern, and I expect this to go into price discovery, especially with it being its first cycle and really the market not really having like a lot of bag holders. Like the issue with Sol is, and not just Sol in general, or I'll just move on to the next potential Solana killer, which is a new, an older coin that's kind of rebranding itself, is Phantom, right? And the issue with Phantom that is that you have people and you have funds that bought all this, right? So every time you hit like a significant area of resistance like that, here, you're gonna have bag holders that are gonna be just either selling at break even or selling just below where they're underwater. You just have all this baggage here, right? All this supply, and of course, it went on in the last cycle. It went on a crazy run, uh, and I think this is a preview of what we can expect from some of the newer L1s. And again, the thesis is, this was a Ethereum killer, and it went from basically 16 cents to over $3. It's crazy. I didn't remember it got that high, and like that's like a 20x. So, but they are actually rebranding, so I think they're on like a marketing push. I haven't really decided if I'm bullish on it versus other opportunities. But yeah, Alex, I know you're familiar with this one. I'd love to get your take on, because the reason I put it in the same category as a Solana killer is basically they're upgrading and rebranding their tech to become, to compete with some of these faster new chains like Sui, Aptos that we're going to get into a little later, and Solana.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be interesting to get your
Yeah. I
take
mean,
on how you're seeing the
so
chart.
yeah, I mean, Phantom's definitely an interesting one. So let me share my screen here. I used to trade Phantom quite a lot a while ago. Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So I think Phantom's a very interesting one because how long have they been out? Can you remind me? I think 2018, 2017.
So yeah, they've been basically since like 2017, 2018, really capable team, I think.
Hmm.
Just, haven't been able to compete with, because the L1 space has really gotten so competitive.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they've stayed more relevant than some of the older L1s, like
Absolutely.
Algorand,
Absolutely.
like Cardano, I'd say. Some of the first gen, like ETH killers, these
Yeah.
guys have found a way to stay relevant. And they also have like, I think the market cap's like 1.5 billion, and they have like 500 million in like treasury assets. So these
Yeah.
guys have firepower. The other thing is they have Andre Cronje, which is a lot of people call him the godfather of DeFi, and he's
Hmm.
just like one of the best devs, not just from a dev perspective, but marketing. So they have a lot going for them, but obviously not as sexy and shiny as a new coin. But
Yeah.
maybe, some people say like this could essentially pull like a Cardano, where it has like it makes all time highs in two cycles. That would be like the Super
Yeah.
Bowl case.
That was wild. No, I mean that's a good point you bring up. Phantom has been one of those that has tried to maintain relevant and has actively been doing work and moves to be able to stay that way. So I mean, now that you say it's at a 1.5 billion market cap, then it. I wouldn't surprise me if we maybe go back to all time highs. I
Which is
would
a nice like 5-6x, right? I mean, that's not
exactly.
it's a
Yeah,
respectable trade
I
there still.
There would have to be some crazy news for me to really think it can get back to its all-time highs, but I do think we can get somewhere like at a 3x from here. Um, because if we're comparing right now Phantom and Sui, we want to go off the narrative where Sui is the new toy, and Phantom has it's the archaic one, and it doesn't have anything behind it, right? So for example, Doji is the archaic number one meme coin. Right? There's more narrative there, but Phantom, what does it really represent? Besides, I believe they're DAG, right? Besides DAG, they don't.
Yeah,
You know,
Jag. I mean, they're just like a generic fast L1.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
So
there's
I think
nothing
that
new or shiny about it. But they
yeah,
are rebranding. They are getting. Keep this in mind. They're getting a new ticker, new chart, clean levels, and that
the,
stuff does help. Like, do you have? I don't know if you have Beam uh,
oh, let's take a look.
on your watch list, but Beam is one. I think they rebranded from Merit Circle,
Oh
and
yeah, that's right.
it
Right.
was a brand new chart. And same thing, it was beaten down. And you
Yeah,
could
there it
even
is.
pull up the Merit Circle chart. And
Do you see
what
it?
if I could see Phantom doing something like this? I could see it also being a sell the news. And is that sell the news going to be an opportunity?
Yeah, I thought that, yeah.
What
I
did it do?
mean,
It did like a 9x.
yeah, it did some insane
So
numbers,
these
but yeah,
rebrands, they work sometimes. You
yeah.
can't just fade it just because they've been around for a while.
Especially if they have the firing power and the money to be able to throw that and say, hey, we're going to rebrand it, or do marketing, we're going to make it a normie coin. Then yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it would pull something like that. Really quickly, as you were talking about this, I forgot about Matic. They also did a rebranding, and I haven't looked at Pull. Right, it's their new coin, but yeah, this is disgusting.
I mean, yeah,
I wouldn't. Yeah, Matic is one of those things
but
that
it's a different narrative. Like, I mean,
yeah,
they
irrelevant.
are technically an L1, but they're L2, so it's not as sexy as an L1.
Yeah, really quickly, let
Uh,
me go to Sui. I know you're talking about Sui. I just want to take a look at Sui one more time here. So, what I usually like to do, just so everybody knows how I do some of my flags or some of my analysis, I try to find the first three. So, and by three, I mean first 3 wicks, right? The first high, like the main high, then the low, then the second higher low. This I can usually build off a nice downtrend. And as you can see, I built this literally yesterday, and I said, hey, maybe it's going to respect, and just like that, it's been respecting that trend. Look at that. So it's been going up, down, and this is how sometimes I'm able to long and short in the short term. So I'll do maybe leverage 10x, maybe 15x, and once I start seeing this, I know that here it would be a long, right? So I start longing there for a quick scalp, and then I do the same thing here. But anyway, that's something for if people are interested in learning about doing some short, quick short scalps. And this is what I do. And right now in the hour, I mean, Sui is very bullish. We're respecting the 200 MA as opposed to Bitcoin. We've lost the 200 MA a long time ago, as you can see here. Going back to Sui, we are we are making bearish divergence. We did make bearish divergence, so we kept going higher and higher, and the RSI kept going lower, right? The relative strength index, and that's how you could see that dump. But eventually, it got eat up again. Look at that, and it just went from 62. Everyone was like, "Oh, we hit support." I'm sorry, we hit resistance, but boom, no, we went 37, right? And so what I'm seeing right now is even on the 8 hour, we're respecting the 21 moving average. I mean, there's a lot of moving averages in that area that are going to hold off, but there is this wick right here was a bearish divergence in almost all time frames, right? So we made higher highs, then here we made a higher high, but we made a lower low, which is a little bit bearish. And in a nutshell, what I'm seeing overall, if again, it just depends on what happens with the market with Bitcoin, but we could potentially just see a bounce back in the daily, hit the 21 MA, and then once we hit the 21 MA, we could potentially make it continue to make it a flag and then continue to the upside, right? That's if this is very 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 bullish. It's going to ignore the bearish divergence. If
yeah,
not, then one thing I can see, well, I've seen those things happen before too, right? Is where there's bearish divergence, but they just ignore it and it just continues to rip, right? And so from our last impulse in the 4 hour time frame, we have a fib down to 172, right? 172, and look at that. Isn't that uncanny? And 172 in the 21 MA is exactly at around that area, and the 0.786. So I wouldn't be surprised if we hit these parts here. Maybe we do a sideways and then we rip, or we just hit it and then we just continue to rip again, right? Again, all depending on Bitcoin. But that was
What's
touch.
interesting that the Sui ecosystem meme coins, there's still money to be made in that ecosystem. Like
It's
they're
crazy.
not all going down with Sui. Like the party's still going there. We're
Mhm.
not gonna talk too much about those meme coins now, but what I think would be interesting to look at and kind of what I want to figure out on the show is what could be the next Sui. Obviously, we're gonna keep doing looking for winners in Sui because we kind of already know the market has chosen that as like a as a designated casino. Uh, but I think what could be next is either Aptos or Say. So if you want to cover Aptos real quick,
Yeah,
um,
let's do it.
and see if it's uh, looking bullish, if it looks like, because usually these things get front ran a little bit,
Yeah,
and I think the chart kind of tells you, not that it predicts the future, but you see people positioning for
yeah.
like
It gives you a
future
good idea,
moves, right?
right? I mean, look at this is actually very, very bullish. I like this chart. Look at that. Respected the double bottom, and almost as if we're doing a cup and handle and or a W pattern, right? Which I'll give you exactly what I think the target would look like. Um, all right, so let's see this. So we went to $20, then we kind of bottomed out around $4. We went back up, so almost 20, and like looked like it was like 19, and then we came back down to 4. I mean, this is what it's looking like to me in the long, uh,
Now
in
look
the
at
bigger.
really quick. Look at in another tab. Look at the Sui chart, and I bet you
Ah,
can draw something
good
pretty similar.
catch. And just before we go to the SUI, this is my target for Aptos right now. So it's a
35
W.
bucks.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
pretty
Because
wild.
yeah, I mean, and you brought up a good point. Hey, let's look at SUI really quick. That's exactly the
And
same. I mean, it's
while you're pulling
uncanny.
that up, I just want to mention, like, usually I think in the past, Sui and Aptos, I don't know if they traded at the same valuation, but like similar valuations. And now Sui has kind of pulled ahead, and now Aptos is half the value of Sui. So I don't know if that's like a catch up trade.
Yeah, no, I mean, it absolutely could. And just like you said, we have that double pattern. This one didn't go all the way down, but it came close. And people, I'm assuming people are very bullish on Sui because they didn't let it go all the way down. They just quickly ate that dip and they said, okay, it's ready to go. And I mean, look at what it did. So if we're looking at this one, and let's do a quick look at Aptos. Yeah, look at that. So it's 3 day. Let's see, 5 day. Let's see, 5 day here. Uncanny. Look at that resemblance. It's exact same pattern, which is going to tell us two things. It's going to tell us that both Sui and Aptos they're gonna go higher. So targets for Sui right here. Double pattern. Let's see how this W goes. Yep, about $4. That $4 range, and then Aptos. I'm very curious as to obviously this isn't guaranteed to happen, right? It's just a potential target, right? A possibility. But you're absolutely right. Aptos has a lot of catching up to do, and this also kind of brings up something I think that you mentioned, or maybe I was thinking. I can't remember, but people missed the Sui move, and they're going to start looking to a different chain that hasn't quite moved yet, but has potential, right? And what's another chart? Like what's another crypto besides Sui, right? You said Sui and Aptos were together at some point. So I could see Aptos mimicking Sui, and making this big $35 target, just like we did here, right? With Sui, we were at 51,
Yeah.
then we got all the way to $2, right? So it honestly would not surprise me to see that.
And if you think about it, like they both have the same tech. They both have the Move
Right.
language. They both came out of the Libra Facebook project. So uh, Sui seems to have more traction on like partnerships and you know traction from people adopting the chain. But it's the same. It's similar tech, and it's performs. I think very similar in terms of like transactions and being fast, easy to use. So it's all it takes is a couple announcements, partnerships to really get this thing going. And I think it's getting uh, it's kind of making it's breaking out a little bit right from that falling wedge. And breaking the trend line, and you want to see a market structure break there
Yeah,
above
yeah.
nine,
So here, I mean,
and
I
that's
see,
it's a good spot to really make
yeah,
a bet, right? That
anything
Aptos
below,
can catch up to Sumi.
yeah, anything below, like you could clearly see here, we have support, right? And then we break that support, and then we come back and we have resistance, and we can't break it, and then we rip again. So that would be the
Yeah.
next area. It would be the $10. If we get lucky, we get a nice little pullback, maybe to like 783, right? That region. But it seems like we already did. So I mean, this one, again, all dependent on Bitcoin. Then,
So
we,
I think the way, if we want to break this down for like our viewers of how to make money with uh, this thesis that this rotation is coming, let's think back to what happened with Sui. Right, first Sui breaks out,
yeah,
it starts moving, very bullish, and what happens after that? Money flows, money bridges from Solana to Sui. People start bidding meme coins. So
right,
we've seen this playbook over and over again. Same thing
yeah,
happened with Solana in the beginning. Solana goes crazy. It goes 10x in a couple months. And basically this is what we call like the wealth effect, which the wealth effect basically is that the token holders of the L1 start to feel wealthy, and they essentially are more prone to gamble on higher risk things like meme coins because they've made money with the L1 token. So it almost feels like when you're in a casino and you're riding like wins, it doesn't hurt as bad as losing like your initial investment. Like when you're gambling what you've already won, you're much more prone to like take bigger bets and take more risk. So
definitely.
with that in mind, with knowing that that's kind of how these things go, I think the right move here is to start buying some Aptos, of course, and start positioning ahead of what happened in Sui, which would be start buying some Aptos memes. So, Alex, I don't know if you said you
Yeah,
might have been looking at a couple.
yeah. I was
What have
looking
you
at,
seen?
yeah, I was looking at one, and let me go ahead and pull this one up really quick. Let me know if you can see my actually. No, you can't. I was looking at a few on Sui and on I'm sorry, on Say and on Aptos, but I just found one that was very attractive to me in Aptos, and then I think you also found one that was really good. So give me a second.
You want me to go into
Here,
that,
can you,
or there
can you see
you
my
go.
screen?
Yeah.
All right. So this is one of the leaders I found in Aptos uh, ecosystem, right? One of the things I've been looking at, this one came out back in late 2023, early
September.
2024. What's that?
Yeah, it came out like basically
Earlier this
right
year.
during the prime of when everything was going
Yeah,
crazy, when
exactly.
all coins were really ripping, basically.
And I mean, this
Wow.
thing, yeah, it did a nice, it's 11x, and then it just did consolidation. And honestly, I've been looking at this for quite some time. I've been looking at it since early October. And this is doing textbook TA, textbook technical analysis. We had a little flag I made here. Every flag usually goes to the upside. So you take the measure move from this side, and that's usually the target, right? And what we did is we went up and down, and then we broke out. We're doing the retest, and then it looks like it wants to continue to move to the upside. Now, one of the things is, are people catching up to this move, or people are going to start looking at this move. Because what blows my mind is that we've been sustaining these levels for quite some time now, right? We've been, since actually not too long. Okay, it's not too long. We've been at about 6 days, 7 days, but still, we've been in this range right here, right? And maybe being Aptos and being the this one maybe potentially being the leader of it of the ecosystem, it could continue to rip. But I will caveat that with something that when there are good names and a good following and good memeonomics for a brand new coin, that brand new coin can completely outperform this coin. So it's one of those things to
Yeah.
always stay on top of the memes. So this is what I have for Aptos. Do you want to talk about the other one that you brought up? I think you brought it. It was Uptos, I think, right?
Oh, Uptos.
Do you
Yeah,
want
I actually
to show
haven't
that
even
one?
looked at this chart, but
I, I
yeah,
I
let's
have
take a
mine
look.
open. I have mine open. If you want, you can look at it. I was looking at it when you told me.
Yeah, just before we go on to the next one, could you open up the
Yeah,
Twitter and the website too? Because while the TA I think is the most important, I think you also
it's a good
need
point.
to kind of form a thesis around the virality of the
Oof, look
meme
at that.
itself and the appeal of the meme, and that's more obviously more art than science. But if it's like clever, like well done, it looks like it wasn't completed with ChatGPT, then you know,
Yeah,
then
here.
it has more of a shot of staying a leader.
Let me know when you see my screen. Hold on.
Yeah, I already see it. I see the deck screener.
No, no, I just pulled up the Twitter. I have to hold on. There you go. So this is actually you might be able to have more insight on this one with your followers, but this one has 17,000 followers, and it's Ju Inu, the number one
So
community
it's a
social.
dog. So
Yeah,
right away we know the biggest memes are dogs, right? That's the
yeah,
biggest market, which is
and
sounds really simple, but it's
one of the
proven,
people
it's
that I
tested
follow.
to work.
Exactly. Yeah. So one of the big people that I follow that also are following GU or whatever you want to call it, Inu, is Iced, Alex Kruger, which also throws Alpha, Ice Bergy, and also Sign Trade. If you want to look on your end, like who follows them, because I know you have more people.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to switch screens for that, but let me take a look right now. It's
Yeah,
Gui
that's fine.
Inu. I do think the pronunciation, that is not a red flag, but it's kind of a knock. Like if it had a more catchy name or
Yeah,
better, like a ticker, I do think
yeah,
it'd be better. So, so you have okay. Here's someone, head of ecosystem at Aptos Labs is following them. So you could think of them as like a Jesse Polak from Base uh, type of person, right?
yeah. So they're acknowledging them.
Alex Kruger, I'd say he's definitely better for like macro and like large cap analysis. So that's like a neutral follow. Who else? I mean, I have like it's a decent amount, but I don't see any big. What I'm looking for these days is like meme coin people that are like early to meme coins.
Yeah.
Ice Knife, like he's kind of a degen, so I don't know, like it could be a positive, could
Yeah.
be a negative, but I'm not seeing
But
anything like mind blowing right now.
yeah, so that's the only one I found that was the leader. But like I said, there's always those caveats where you have that one coin. For example, we've had a few. We had Bohm, we had SPX 6900. Like these sorts of coins just kind of take over, right? They just kind of go crazy, and that's one of the things to think about if we're going to invest. Not financial advice, but if you're going to invest into the Aptos ecosystem and into the memes,
So let's
if there is one runner and there is a good one, for example, a cat comes out of Aptos, right, and it's got a good name, a good following, good calls, it's gonna outperform GUI. Right? So just keep that in
let's
mind.
take a look at the website real quick because the website, it could have some story, some narrative that makes us even more bullish on it. Uh, Sometimes it gives it that X factor that it needs to go to the next level.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me pull this up really quick.
But I'm not blown away yet. I think something better could come out. A better meme could definitely like
Yeah, exactly.
overtake it.
I wouldn't be
So far, so
surprised too. I wouldn't be surprised if it does, and because a lot of these schools want to pump it up into like the billions, hundreds of millions to billions. So, but we have the community integrations. They have a Git book on PancakeSwap, Dex Screener. They have a Medium, a Telegram, and a Discord. The community token Naptos, what is dead cannot die. Not sure what the whole theme
It's
behind
not
that
that
is.
clever. Kind of stole it from Game of Thrones.
Oh, I had no idea. Yeah, I mean, there's the journey. Oh, okay, I see. Well, they said Aptos is dead. A group of crazy idiots. Okay.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know if I can play off that whole narrative. Ghostly, your favorite dog breed. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Seems
mean, I think there's going to be some runners. I don't know if it's
yeah,
going to be this one.
but I
Yeah, I'm
definitely
not
look into
convinced. The
the
chart, the chart looks the best. Is the best
yeah,
part about this.
yeah, that's about it. But I would look into any cats within that within Aptos.
Yeah,
That would be a good catch. But do you have anything that you've been looking at that you want to share for say or anything?
yeah. Let me take over here. So before we move on to say, I think let's see what else is on Aptos. And I haven't even checked this yet. This is live analysis, basically live research. Do you see my screen? Yeah. Okay. So, and we're gonna come back to SPX because that thing's going crazy.
Yeah, that's a good one to
But
bring up.
so, just finishing up Aptos, right? So let's take a look at this, and this is Dex Screener for those of you watching, and basically you can use this to find tokens on chain that not there's hundreds of thousands of tokens and most of them don't trade on exchanges. So if you want to be early to stuff, you kind of have to be on tools like this. So if we just sort by market cap, right?
Yeah.
uh all this, so Aptos obviously is number one, and then we go down. Amnes,
Now keep
that
going
looks like a
down because these
staking
are usually
token.
now these are 160 million market cap. There you go. The 40s. That's looking a little better.
So these all look like real actual projects.
Yeah.
Thala token I think is an exchange.
Yeah.
So you got Bubbles.
Bubbles is
That
also.
seems like it could be a meme. What else?
Then there's
Rap
a
E.
GUI, the one we talked about.
No. I mean, there's literally not much. There's like,
No, so if you keep going
which is
down,
good.
there's some
That's
down
good for
there.
us because we can find. It's either it means one of two things, or I mean, it basically means the same
Donk.
thing, and one of
So
two things is
Donk
gonna
was
happen.
one. Donk I was watching. I watched Donk go lower, 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 lower. Donk there. So I've seen
Yeah.
Donk do some interesting moves. In my opinion, that
Mo
was one.
dang.
Yeah.
So I think the other thing you want to look at is volume, and like right now, there's just no volume here, which means no one's here. No one's. It's like you got to the party and like all the beer is there, but no one is drunk yet. So
But remember, it
and
just
no one's
takes
even arrived
one.
to the party yet either.
It takes one call. It takes one call to say something about the ecosystem, and everything rips, right? So it's not a bad. I mean, in my opinion, right now, financial advice, it's not a bad idea to put in maybe $100 on one of these coins and then just watch it rip.
All right, let's just quickly take a look at all of them and see if we were to start betting on some of these. This is a crazy chart. Why did it come out 20 million?
It's actually, I think it's a natural
Meme coin
project.
project.
It's, no, never mind.
No, it's a meme coin, but I think it looks like a pre-sale because there's no other reason for it to come out at that market cap if it's not a pre-sale, right?
Yeah, to me, that's
And
kind of a
let's
pass.
take a look at the website, Twitter. We're gonna speed run through these. So, and what I was gonna say is like one of two things is happening: either it stays dead like this, no one ever comes to the party, or we're early, we start taking shots, and we're gonna be having the most fun out of everyone because we're early, right? So one of two things, one of those two things, it either stays dead or it doesn't. Judging by the chart, and this is why we look at the main chart first, is where our thesis is that Aptos is going to run. There's going to be a wealth effect. People are going to ape meme coins. So we want to be early to that, right? And you might pick some duds, but one of these could be a winner. So this is Bubbles Bean. Yeah.
It's a hard pass for me, honestly.
Kind of whack.
Yeah.
No one 20K followers, probably all bots because no one that I follow is follow a
Yeah.
lot of people. So this one doesn't look like anything special other than it's already at 20 mil. Um, how much liquidity does it have? It's got a lot of liquidity for some reason. Doesn't make any sense for me. Which liquidity is good and bad because it's going to be harder to pump it, but it's also harder for it to dump, right? GUI we just looked at. Maybe I'll just give my quick take on it. Like, I, if I'm gonna pick something to allocate, it's probably gonna be something like this that kind of survived its first dump, right? Is showing uh, some sort of strength, but I feel like we have more time on this, maybe around 10 mil or something. So
I mean, I don't know. Be careful with that because it isn't a flag and it just did a retest. So I'm not sure. So if you go into like the 4 hour, we did a,
I mean, we did have a bullish here,
because
moving average break
for
here.
example, let's just say that, people aren't like what you can see, people aren't selling. That's telling you something they're accumulating, right? And for the last 5, 6 days, it hasn't gone down. So I think that says a lot.
But look at the volume; it's 10K in volume.
Right.
So
Nobody's selling, nobody's buying, right? So they're just leaving it as that. But
I
no,
wonder if there's
yeah,
multiple pools because there's this thing only has 22K in liquidity. Is it maybe I'm on the wrong one, the wrong pool?
it may
Oh,
have
here we go,
multiple.
1 million liquidity.
Yeah. So it's just something to keep in mind that, not financial advice, but if you do get into something, you think it's going to get lower, it may not. But, you know, the
That's
risk is
true.
small.
That's true. All right, so I think this is I would punt this, and
Yeah.
your downside's pretty capped here at 5 mil for a meme
Yeah.
coin. That's not bad. For potentially the number one meme on Aptos, and then this is sell finance. This looks like a DeFi coin, so
Let's look at a nice
not
chart.
really decentralized exchange. Not bad actually,
Yeah.
but we're looking for 100x's. I don't know if you get that
To
in
me,
DeFi.
to me, this is one of the ones I like a lot just because of
Donk.
the run it had. Yeah. I was watching it at 3 million, 2.5 million, and ripped to like 4. This one's still a bit early. But again, it's only if Aptos catches a bid, I would be bullish on this one.
Yeah, but I see what you mean. Like this is definitely showing strength. It's
Mhm.
now it's kind of like you want to see it make a higher high, essentially a higher low here, and like
Yeah.
maybe start making like some sort of base. Uh, like kind of shake people out and like something like that maybe.
Yeah.
But I like this one. I see what you mean. This one definitely has potential. Let's
Yeah.
see where we are with the
And
fib here.
the fib is not bad either. So I would,
So we're at the 0.5
yeah.
now, which is it's a mid range,
So,
right? We could either bounce here.
so can,
I punt this too
yeah,
actually. Well, I have to look at the Twitter and website, but just judging off the
looks
chart,
nice,
it
right? Hey,
looks
so can you
decent.
do me a favor? Can you pull the fib and get it a little closer to the chart? Yeah, the fib. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, man. Yeah, so pull the fib closer to the chart. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Now raise it up there. Stop, stop, stop. So raise it higher, a little bit higher. There you go. From that, yeah, that one. There. Yeah.
Here,
A little lower, but yeah, that's fine. But I think we're close enough. You're right. We're at the 618 from that impulse, from that last impulse, right? And yeah,
you could say from
yeah,
here on the
we're
3 day,
there.
right?
Yeah,
Like
perfect.
was
That's
the
perfect.
last
Yeah,
impulse,
that's the one.
and we essentially front ran this point
Yeah,
618, and you want to see it's either going to come down kind of like this, maybe not as
yeah,
far, but retest this old
and
all
then
time high.
just
And that for me is like a great spot. If we don't get that, then I mean, I think this is coming. Just have to see how the chart
yeah,
develops, right? But like, this is definitely a
yeah. Let's
candidate.
look at the Twitter and the website.
Twitter, not any KOLs right now except this guy. Let's see who this guy is. Uh, so seems like just a random KOL. Not anyone I know of being good with memes, but you know, it's not a red flag. It's just maybe super early. It's still 1 2 million market cap, right? Donk escaped the Matrix. Zebra coin, dude. These memes are so bad.
And it's out of 2 million.
Donk move.
Yeah,
NFT games, comics,
yeah,
donk bot. So utility to me in meme coins is bearish because then you give people
yeah.
expectations. Expectations lead to
Hmm.
disappointments. So overall, I think GUI and donk. GUI seems like the best bet to me, uh, and I think it's still super early. Not just while I have the screen, let's go on to
Yeah,
say.
nice.
Uh, And Say is another one that I like is like with this Solana killer thesis, similar tech, fast, new L1. So I've been watching this one, and I think it's coming close to where I want to enter, and I think we've gone over it a couple streams now, but essentially just been watching. You can see this is a 5 day trend, so uh, a pretty major time frame. And when you see these bullish, it's in bearish right now, right? But it's actually flipped these moving averages. So if you see how the moving averages are getting closer, if you get a bullish break on like something with a longer time frame, like a 5 day, that's like really strong bullish confirmation, right? That you can start getting a bullish trend. On the 3 day, it's already flipped and it's retesting.
Yeah,
So this is looking super bullish to me. I'm already kind of what set my alerts for an entry, and I think it's starting to come down to a reasonable like risk reward level. So the main thing I'm looking for is again the monthly open, rejected at 45, and I think this is coming to a level like it's retesting this range, this like accumulation range, and you want to see it kind of not really gain acceptance in this consolidation here. And basically, what I'm looking for is something like something. Dude, it's always when you need the thing,
yeah,
but you can't find the thing. Something like this, like either test here and break, or maybe stop out, like grab some liquidity here, and then I'd enter like here, right, like a retest here, and set like a stop loss just below here. What you don't want to see is like something like that, and then back into this range. Then maybe we go back into accumulating. But for now, I think this is looking really good. If I might have already set up my trade
yeah.
here, but
So for the people that are watching, make sure that when you find some really good coins and they're at the spot where you want to buy them, to place buy orders, right? Because maybe you're sleeping and you want to have those buy orders ready in case of a dip or whatever your plan might be. But it's good to have that ready to go.
yeah, I might. I think I'm probably gonna start adding to this because it's kind of at the zone I
Yeah,
wanted it at, and I don't want to risk like Bitcoin
because
printing
as we're
on
talking,
a on a CPI, right?
we're
On a
already
bullish
bouncing.
CPI.
We're bouncing the double bottom right now on BTC. So I mean, uh, you know,
Yeah, but I think this is a good. I think this is going to be a great trade because like just on the flag, you're getting uh, you're coming back to basically a double up
yeah.
here, this old, and then maybe take profit here, take profit one on this one, and then if it does become a leader, if you get some sort of action like on the decentralized exchanges and meme coins, I could see it's going back to all time high, and it's a price
Yeah.
discovery.
Do you have you looked at
So
any memes for
I
this
mean,
one?
so I haven't.
Yeah, yeah.
Have
So
you?
if you want to go, actually, go type in Seiyan. So Seyyan on deck screener.
Say V2. Which say is it? Is it normal say or say V2?
So that's say it,
Dude, there's like no volume here. 55K. Maybe it's Save You
maybe.
too, which is a little bearish if you ask me, because which say am I supposed to use,
Yeah.
right? So this is like wrapped stuff. Saying, is it this is the
Yeah,
one you're
that
saying?
one. So go to the first one. I think that one has the most volume. Oh no, the half a mil. No, no, yeah, down that one.
Half a mil
Yeah, that's
liquidity,
the
right?
one that has more.
Let's just do Yaka and same thing. There's like no
I was
no
looking
meme
at
coin activity here. Nothing's
Millie and
running.
Popo the cat.
I mean, just to compare of this is early, right? But if we compare Sui, I mean Sui's look at the volume on Sui. You got 18 mil, 9. Well, this is USDC, but 6 mil, 5 mil. Like things are over a mil. Uh, things are kind of pulling back. Actually, could be an opportunity for us, but compare that to what Say and Aptos were at. Like it's just a completely different picture, right? But that's the risk you take with being
Yeah,
early. Okay, so saying, what are your
yeah.
thoughts on this one?
It's the cup and handle.
These looks
Exactly,
decent.
cup and handle. We've retested. We're making a higher high. To me, this one has a lot of potential. But not only that, once you do the analysis, look at the Twitter and look at the website. I think mostly the Twitter is what makes me really happy. Um,
What I like about this one is it's like a rounded bottom,
yeah,
right?
around about them, and it's going to continue like
And
that.
that's super
Yeah,
bullish. Um, and I
that's
think
7 mil market cap,
uh,
so it's one of the leaders.
this thing, I feel like we were trading this thing
Oh yeah,
back in like
we
February or
were, yeah,
something,
yeah, yeah.
right?
We got into
Yeah, and it had that crazy
no,
run up.
I don't know if you remember, but we got into the wrong one, and then we just saw this thing leave us. I mean, I got into the wrong one, and it just got rugged. I saw this one go to 20
Yeah,
mil.
so but so it's I like this meme because it's say like say like the ticker saying, and then it's a super saiyan, and everyone loves Dragon Ball Z, especially crypto versions geeks. They love anime
Now
stuff.
do Twitter.
So I mean, I think this one looks super
Now
bullish.
Twitter's going to make you even more bullish.
Well, let's just look at the chart. I think so. Yeah, that crazy run up. We'll just I mean,
So
not really
I mean,
anything you
it's
can do
already
on
forming
that for
that
analysis,
cup and
but
handle. So the handle's already being formed right now as we speak, in my opinion.
well, to me, you have like the makings of a range
Mm-hmm.
here, right? Uh, and you're essentially retesting that range, and uh, you could be. Could be what an initial breakout looks like to me, right? Um, I mean, yeah, this to me, it's just the rounded bottom. Just looks super bullish. It's also at the top of the range. It's
Yeah.
retesting it. Also, 7 million market cap. Is this the biggest? This is the biggest meme on Say
Yeah.
with
The
the
next
seven
one
million
that
market cap,
follows it
right?
is Sailor. So Sailor is the next one, but
And this website, it doesn't look like the other like the ones we saw in
yeah,
Aptos, right? Like half-assed. Like I mean, it's a Pepe with a Super
it's
Saiyan
good, man.
hair.
It's good.
Uh, it just says how to use it. It's got the Dragon Balls. I mean, and a lot of memes here. Great
Yeah.
memes actually. Great content. That's definitely something you want to see. Now, what is this other stuff? Telegram bot. So it looks like it's got like. Uh, I wonder if this stuff is built though. It looks like it's already live. So um, some interesting tech there. Well, let's look at the. You're saying pretty bullish on the
Oh,
followers.
absolutely.
So you got. I mean, like compare this to I think we looked at an Aptos meme with like 22,000 followers, but no one I follow on there was on there,
Look at
right? And
this.
this one has 14,000. The original meme coin on Say Network, and it's got 40 people following it.
Tell me it's not going to run.
I
This is
want
a
to
runner.
see. I want to see Art School. They're pretty. He's pretty. I think it's a woman actually. I think she's pretty solid. Kel, one of the OG meme coin thesis writers, he wrote a really good paper on it. This guy, yeah, I mean, you got all
The
the right
Ansem.
ingredients in
Did
this
you see
one for sure.
Ansem? Ansem's at the bottom. Yeah,
Is
there.
he? Yeah.
That's
So
to me. That's one of the
I think
winners.
this could be a sleeping giant if you see a rotation to say and gets its little meme coin season, it could be a sleeping giant. And this is a really bullish chart. So definitely a find there. Um, Now, what else do we have? Yaka. I don't know what happened to this one. 20K volume. Where's the liquidity? Yaka Rapse. Yaka Finance. So this, I don't think this is a meme coin. This is probably DeFi. So that's dead. So we already looked at. Were there any other Say memes we want to look at, or
No,
is
I
that?
think.
I guess it's
Yeah, I
just
mean,
Say.
there's one that's the cat. I think it's Popo the cat was good. I think that was
This
yeah,
one.
that one. Because I think it's the only cat in the ecosystem. It's a very low market cap.
I mean, it's so low that I might just buy it, and
Check, yeah,
like
just check.
either just a
Yeah,
moon
check
bag,
the
you know.
Twitter, see if there's any names that are also
But it's this just tells me it's just really
yeah
early. Um, Pop Popo me dot me.
yeah yeah. That one.
Uh,
It's fairly it's
yeah,
a
I
fairly
don't know
new
about this
one
one,
too. But I mean, you have to understand a lot of the people that make the millions are the ones that invest really early, right? They're able to be ahead of the curve. So maybe throwing like $50 here wouldn't hurt, Not financial advice, but
yeah. But if I'm gonna be degenning on a 400K market cap, I want to do it kind of somewhere with some
Soul
volume.
definitely
Like
Soul.
I could just do it on Sui, right?
Yeah, Soul is the way.
Soul or Sui. What's this other one? And everything's in the red. I mean, yeah. I think just buy the top meme. See, like front run everyone. Buy some Say. Not financial advice, but that's the way I would play it. Okay, this is the second highest volume one. Came out when it's pretty wild. Came out on the 24th, August 24th. I mean, this one's interesting. It's sake. Sake is I think that's okay. It's his dog thing. Hmm. Who's that dog? The most intoxicated
That's a
404
lot of
dog meme
followers
coin.
for. I mean, maybe it's bots, but
I think it's botted because yeah, I don't see anyone from crypto Twitter
yeah.
following. And who's this guy? Um, yeah, I think it's really early,
Whoa,
and I
whoa.
think my move would be to position in the L1 token and maybe in the top meme for each one and just call it a day,
Yeah.
right? What do you think?
No, I 100% agree with you. And it's if you want to capitalize, you have to front run a lot of these narratives, and I think that's the biggest thing, right? Capitalize on potentially the narrative moving on to Aptos or moving on to Say. So it's a patience game, right? And I think that's probably the most important thing here. Uh, but
It's a high risk, high reward game. They're either going to do nothing or you're going to be look like a
yeah,
genius.
yeah,
So,
and you heard it here first.
but as far as the L1 tokens, those are great
Yeah.
trades,
Uh,
I think.
And then let's see. By the way, if you want to go to the Bitcoin chart really quick, I just want to. We had a nice. So it's the double bottom I was talking about. It's a start already. So go to the hour or like the 15 minute. We had a really nice bounce back. Yeah. So we're moving back to
Yeah,
the.
but I don't even like zooming in this much,
Yeah.
man. I think we just gotta let's see how the daily and the weekly close. I mean, the right now I'm not buying into any moves until CPI comes out
So,
and basically the
yeah. I
market
mean,
picks a
so
direction.
I'm going to throw this out there. I'm bullish on CPI, which means that I'm bullish on Bitcoin for tomorrow. Just FYI, not financial advice. But all right. So the last thing is, I know you have a coin that you're looking at was SPX 69. 100. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, I want you to do your
All right.
analysis on these because I feel like I'm a little biased. But there's two I want you to look at. SPX, look at ticker Bitcoin, and we'll throw one more bonus in there if you have time. Look at NDX.
All right.
So SPX is SPS
This is on
6900.
ETH, right?
The meme coin, it's one of Murad's picks.
It's on
What's
ETH,
that?
right? All right. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So
And the meme is they want to flip the S&P 500. They want to flip it in
all
value.
right. So here, give me a second, and then I want to share one that I've shared with you guys, and I'll explain to you why I'm bullish on this one. It's actually the one I told you to buy yesterday, Henry. So I think you're going to be pretty upset as you see the price.
Which one?
We'll get to it. Don't worry about it. All right, so let's take a look at SPX. Honestly, when you sent me this, it was just. Can you see my screen? All right,
Yeah.
yeah. This I was looking at this one now. It's just flabbergasted by the chart. But let me just put some indicators here, because the momentum is. It's wild. So I don't like coins like this just because they pump so much. That's just my personal take on that. But it has momentum. So let's see.
But okay, so let's say I'm bullish on the concept, but I want to find an entry, and I don't want to just buy like these giga green candles. I mean that sell off there with that big wick, I feel like could have been an
Yep, the
entry.
big whip was an entry. I doubt we may see the 31 region, but look, I mean, it's nuts. Look at how it dumped. It hit and usually that's one of the things that I've been learning, because I'm learning, I don't know everything about TA, but one of the things that I've been realizing is that when a coin is very bullish, it'll be like, so this is out of impulse, right? We can see impulse was here, right? And the craziest thing is that out of impulse, it usually bounces off the 0618 most of the time. It means that there's a lot of demand for that coin, right? And this slightly looks familiar to Cat. I was charting Cat as well. Or, I'm sorry, not Cat, AAA. And look at that. So you bounce back. We could retest here and then just keep coming back down, maybe to the 786 potentially. That could be a good entry. However, this could just continue to rip up, exactly like the S&P 500. That's what it usually does, and then it just keeps going, right? But I would look at these. I mean, that's insane. Look at that. Poof. I would start looking here if we get rejected or not around this region, and then if we don't get rejected, then the momentum is still there and it'll continue to go. But that's the 1 hour. If I'm looking at the bigger time frame, I mean, there's tons of bearish divergence, but it was so bullish that the bearish divergence was just ignored, right? It dumped and then came back up, but it doesn't matter. The divergence played out actually. And so I mean, if you're looking for an entry, it's a 400 million market cap for something, right? I don't know. I'd wait it out for a bit. It's not. It's a
Yeah, like basically I'm waiting for confirmation of if the trend, because this feels like the bullish trend is kind of it's done, it's run its course, and it feels like it's gonna consolidate. And that candle is basically someone just like selling 500,000
probably.
in one clip, or like a
Yeah.
million in one clip. So these things are kind of like these meme coins, because the liquidity is so low. It's like trying to exit like a movie theater and there's only one door, and whoever gets out first gets the movie theater on fire, and whoever gets out first
Yeah,
gets to live.
basically.
Kind of a dark analogy there, but that's basically what it is. The other one I was, and these are all Murad coins, by the way. The other one is just ticker Bitcoin. Type
Yeah,
in
this one, I
Bitcoin.
like this one a lot. Oh wow, that's a nice dip.
It's a little lower
This
too.
is
You said you're looking for
this
lower
is actually in a good
market
place
cap.
right now. This is a really good place. It's actually exactly what I'm looking for, and I'll tell you why I'm looking for this, because we just retested, and this is exactly what I was looking for. So talk about timing. This is quite beautiful. Look at that, and it's respecting trend. Yes, look at that. All right, so let's just go into a higher time frame. Yeah, look. So we couldn't break, we broke. It was a just kidding, and then it just dumped again, and then we kept going.
It's one of the most cursed charts. I've gotten liquidated on a couple of those fake
I don't blame
breakouts.
you, man. It does that. I mean, this is perfect. Look at that. So we retest here, we hold, we go sideways maybe a little bit, but this is looking really good. As long as we don't break back inside.
You think this is the one?
Yes. I mean, I don't like 200 million mark. This is a 2,200 million market cap. I don't like those, but this one has potential to go into the at least 10 billion, in my opinion. Now, it's on exchanges, people are
Really?
bullish. It's almost like a call, and it's got Bitcoin in it, and the name it's fucking hilarious. So
Murad's people. He's got his,
exactly,
he's
he's got his
shilling.
posse doing the bidding. Um,
We've seen what he can do with SPX. We've seen his power.
Well, yeah, exactly. I want to do the indicator because this, I might consider, maybe doing an entry on this one. Let's see.
Yeah, I bought a little bit of the top yesterday.
That's
I'm not
fine.
gonna
I
lie,
mean,
but
right now is
it's fine. I'll
perfect
just
to,
average
yeah.
down.
I mean, let's see. It is very overbought. You know what I'd like to see, and I'll be honest with you, I would like to see between the 12 and the daily, just kind of, as the stochastics RSI comes down or just gets lower, I would like the price to go sideways. To me, that is probably one of the,
Like a
yeah,
flag, right?
it's one of the most bullish things you could see is if the stochastics comes down and the price just goes sideways. That is mega bullish for the next leg. Let's look at the hour here. Yeah, I mean, I like this because I love this. Look at that. Right, you break trend, right? You're going up, you break trend, you retest, and then you dump. It's just textbook there. You make a higher high, and then RSI is low, and then that's when you short. But I mean, this is still looking good.
You short exactly when I bought. That's when you need to short.
Yeah,
But imagine if I had bought the same breakout on SPX. I'd be sitting
yeah, but
pretty, right? So you just don't know
that's the
these
thing,
things.
man. Like the buying the breakouts, in my opinion, at least, they're very tough because it's all about timing and yeah,
It's not the most profitable
yeah.
strategy for sure, but
But if
it
you catch
works.
it,
It
yeah.
works
If you catch
sometimes.
it, it definitely works. But that's what I'm seeing here. One thing that I do want to keep in mind is there could be some rejection here too, and then maybe from here. This is a tough chart, to be honest with you, but I will tell you what my 2 cents are. So here's what I could see. Maybe we do something like this, shoulder, head, and shoulder, and we rip again, or just do some sideways. We come back up, and then we continue from there, right? But it seems like 200 million level of the market cap, the 20 cents was respected, and that's a good sign. So long as we don't break
Like resistance turned
exactly, it
support,
flipped
right?
to support. Correct. Yeah. I like this, and to me that,
It's
yeah.
really bullish.
But again, like I said, make sure that this doesn't happen. And I want to give you an example just quickly about what could happen. All right. And I know this is one of the coins that we talked about in the past. So this one here is, I think, the perfect example, right? We were, Henry and I were both looking at AAA, the cat, and what happened? We did this massive tear from 6 million, right? Hit about 26 million, did a 3.5x. We broke down from that rising trend, and then we did the retest, and look at that nasty dump. Do you see this?
Did I see it? I was in it.
So I took a flight yesterday, and I was like, I don't trust this price action, so I sold it. I actually sold it, and I had a.
You can't send a brother a
What's
text,
that?
man. You can't send a quick text like, "Yo, this
I
is looking
did
dicey."
tell you. I sent you a message. Yeah, I did. And I was like, make sure you look at these levels. Like if we go down to this, but my levels are like 14, 15, 15,000, right? 15, I'm sorry, 15.0515, but not what I saw here. This went to a 7 million market cap. Like all the gains were gone. It was just insanely wild. But it's the same price action, right? And currently, what is it? Bitcoin is currently kind of in the same thing, but Bitcoin is a bigger market cap, obviously. There's not going to be a huge whale, breaking down. We're comparing a market cap of 15 mil to a 220 mil market cap, right? So I think, to me, Bitcoin on the meme, that one is more, what's the word? It's more stable in a way. All right. So
Yeah, but what do you
mhm.
think of this AAA thing? You think it has like is? I mean, I'm personally me. I'm doubling down because I like the meme. I think it's simple, and I think it's got the makings of greatness. I can't explain it, but it's I see when I see it, I feel the same thing I felt when I saw Popcat, and I'm just not going to question that. And if I, you know, I'm going to have to DCA on
You
this
know
one
what?
because I think if it goes to price discovery, this could be a future leader. That's
I
my
agree
thesis
with
on it.
you. I completely agree with you, and that's where I'm hesitating personally because the entry for me is tricky. I mean, obviously the entry was at 7 mil or like 9 mil to 10 mil market cap, right? This was a good to get in.
Yeah, but it's pretty tough to
It's
catch
crazy. I was
that.
in customs, and then as soon as I opened my phone, that's where it was, and I couldn't pull out my computer in the middle of customs, right? So I was about to buy.
So you would
I
have
would
bought
have
there
bought, yeah, but the wick, it just got, it just people ate it up, and I couldn't do anything about it, right? So from that, I remember seeing it at
yeah.
9 this morning. I think your time it was like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. But look at that, it's a 60% almost, right? But I would one thing I would like to see since they had this crazy run, I would like to see sideways movement, and that's just for me to feel more comfortable personally to enter a trade. That's just my style, right? So I'd like to see this range, right?
But
This range.
to me, this isn't a. I mean, obviously it's a meme coin. Like it's a joke to call it an investment, but for me, this is a buy and hold kind of thing. Like it's a buy and wait till Sui gets to $6 to $8.
And then,
To
I
me,
mean, you have a good point. I agree with you. So if so, okay. So let's just go with that idea.
because my target's at least like
Yeah.
100 million.
So
That's like
let's just go with that idea. In that case, if I were you, this is not financial advice. I'd probably start DCAing again now, right? And if it dips, keep DCAing, right? DCAing, because at some point it's going to rip again, right?
because I'm just trying to get as much of this in as low of a price
Then
as I can
yeah,
at this
then
point.
now is your time. I would say now it's your time because between 10 and 15, I don't think it's going to hit 7 million again. That's for sure. That was a
Because we saw how this thing moves, dude. Like to me, that right there, like when you zoom in, like those candles look like they're not. It's just one big wick, right?
it's
It's
those are
that's some strength. I mean, I have to look at the volume too, how the volume's looking. Uh,
so there was a
but
sell of
that
like
to me is pretty
this sell
bullish.
here was, I think I was looking it up on Twitter, it was, I believe it was like a 60,000 sale or whatever. So that definitely did something to the price. And then, then gotta love the fibs, and boom, from that bottom wick to the top, right? And then it kept coming down. It hit the 786 and it got back up, right? So people are also looking at this and they're waiting for that entry level. And then once it does, that's why you see that insane wick. But if you are looking to do, like, I'm looking to get in on this one as well, but I'm in a different trade. So before I was traveling, I decided to get in a different trade, and that's the trade I wanna talk about. So let me.
Is that the ticker that you told that
Yeah,
I didn't
that's the
buy?
ticker that I kept telling you last night. Keep watching it, and then
You talking about
nah,
Kobe?
nah, 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 not Kobe. Kobe did well, actually. Kobe did
Kobe
amazing.
moved too.
Yeah, no, it's this one here that I've been bullish on, and I think this is gonna be this is going to be an interesting one to see how it's going to grow and develop because this coin is called a wrapped dog. I want to just show you really quick. So it's like a dog that's wrapped, right? It came out of a pump. But one thing I really liked about this coin, and this is why I bought, and that's why I kept telling you keep an eye on this one. Let me just make the chart bigger here. All right, so
Yeah, this looks super bullish now.
yeah, now you see that's why I kept telling you to buy it like at 10 mil, dude. That's exactly when I got in. It was like 9.9 or whatever, or yeah, 0.009. But anyway, the reason why I'm bullish is because, and all right, a few things. So we've been going sideways in a range since August 8th. Okay. And then the other thing is that
There's definitely a floor here, a floor that people are
exactly, and
bidding.
that's this region, and that's why I got in at like the 9. I wish I got earlier. I got in earlier, but I was in the AAA trade. But I got in right around here last night, this area, right? about 10, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm bullish is because this is a brand new project. It's a brand new coin. It's wrapped to dog. It's one of the most viewed in Binance, I think. People are very bullish, right? And it's already in 2 exchanges, right? But here's the catch to this. And the craziest part is that it's been sustaining 10 million market cap. The catch to this is that it doesn't have any social proofing. So it's a new meta, right? It doesn't have a Twitter.
What do you mean
It doesn't
social?
have Twitter. It doesn't have a website.
What does it have?
It doesn't have anything, and that's what it's running with, and that's what I'm saying. I think it's an experimental coin, which could either
Does it have a Telegram?
nothing.
You
It
said
has
no Telegram?
nothing. So it's literally all about how much you talk about on Twitter and how much you shill it. And this is very interesting. This is what surprised me, that for the last 2 months, something that has no Telegram, no Twitter, no website has sustained at a 10 million market cap. I think this may be, like I said, the experimental thing of a meme, right? To say, hey, the only way we're getting validity is how much we're pushing it on Twitter. Like, that's it. That's all we got. No website, no shilling, no nothing. And that's why I was very bullish on this. It's already in 2 exchanges, which means that the team is doing a lot of work. Whomever is in the team, I don't know. But again, the charts are saying something. We're bidding at the lowest we've gotten was like at 5.
What exchanges is it on?
MEXC and CoinEx. And so,
Yeah, I'm gonna get a volume.
dude, literally yesterday I was like, yo, like, it's ready to go. And you're like, nah. But look, we just did it was just 50.
Yeah, but I don't need to be a hero, dude. 13 cents, 9 cents.
Yeah,
who
you're right.
cares?
You're right.
Like, this thing needs to go to 100 million for it to really be worth it anyway.
And this is what I'm seeing for this one. We did a cup and handle, and I talked about this a few weeks, or like last week or 2 weeks ago, I think. This is exactly how Colby looked before it ripped, right? It was in a flag, it broke back down, and it just ripped from there. And I mean, that's exactly what, these are the signs that this is showing, Now that we've broken out of this trend, right? We had a trend, we broke back down. What I want now is to see us close above it, right? Which I think we did on the daily, but basically stay in this region, because then we're making higher highs, right? And then from there, it's Valhalla. I mean, we see
like 0.011 to 12, right? 0.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm seeing here. And we also, the reason why I was bullish, because we broke out of it and we just kept going sideways. Look, we kept going down, and there's bullish divergence, which I always talk about this one. And this is my I have to buy sign. And if you look at the 12-hour, also look at that. Prices were in the same region, but look at that. We made a higher high on the RSI. And to me, that's extremely, extremely bullish. So that's why I aped in. I sold my AAA bags, and I just aped in onto W Dog while I was in a plane, because I had more trust in a thing that's been going sideways for the last 2 months than something that just ripped to leave that amount of money. So that's my justification for this one, and I'm gonna let this one run for a bit, because not only that, look at the daily time frame. We are just getting started. Look at that. It's just getting started. So I'm expecting to see this one at 30 cents within the next week or 2. And then there's one last thing I want to add before we wrap it up, Henry, and this is very important. For the last few days, you and I both, we've been talking about all the coins that have been mega bullish, right? We've talked about all the rips. We've talked about all these different coins that have gone up like substantial amounts since Bitcoin ripped. But one thing we forgot to look at is those coins that have not moved quite the amount that they're supposed to, right? So there's still some plays that haven't been priced in yet, and people are going to start looking to look for those sideways movements that, maybe last cycle, or like a few months ago when Bitcoin went to like the 70s, maybe there's still some memes that have not moved the way that they should, and they haven't been priced in yet. And I think that's something that we just start looking at, because we keep talking about, like all of these ripped, but we're not looking at the ones that have been accumulating and have a good community and have a high count of holders, right? And I think that's very big to think about, as you're looking to make a move.
Yeah, and that's basically this week what I'm focusing on, is because the memes, they just can't be faded. And if you want to make money, if you want to make the most money, like forget, like yes, tech is important, products important, but you have to go with what the market is saying. The market likes the memes. The gains are coming from the memes, the biggest gains. So you have to play the game, and that's what I'm going to be looking at this week is memes across all the ecosystems. Which ones am I most bullish on? And basically start placing my bets on like cyclical winners, kind of like AAA, that are benefiting from like long term trends, long term flows. The meme has like virality, and also just like what looks like a good trade, right? Like to accumulate more of that base L1 token to keep compounding it. Are you looking for a US upside
Yeah,
down
yeah,
cap?
because this is the perfect example. This is
I saw some
yeah.
people tweeting about it. I think it could make a comeback.
Look, it already. I mean, it already did some great gains, but absolutely, it was at a 500K market cap, and yeah, I mean, this is undervalued.
Yeah. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because we have this meta right now. If you go to ETH, or maybe it's open up on another tab. No, not the pair. Go to like the ETH. Just you see on the top left where it says Solana.
So yeah,
Like flip to ETH. Yeah, just flip to that, and you're gonna see on the top 10. Uh, it was basically, or maybe it's just on Deck Screener, but on Deck Screener, the top 10 was like Nasdaq,
oh, here it
because
is.
it was like
So
SPX narrative, like
SPX,
Nasdaq,
Bitcoin,
SPX.
MOG.
There was like DXY that also ran. Um, so oh no, you're on hot pairs. So if you go to volume, I think I don't know. Dex Tools does it a little different from Dex Screener, but on Dex Screener, it was all like
Yeah,
indexes,
yeah, yeah.
right? So USDC, maybe it catches a bid from that. I mean, it kind of did a little bit, but uh, yeah, I think there's a case to be
Yeah,
made
no,
for that.
I really like USDC. That's a good one. I was also, I know you showed me Olm just to kind of sidetrack, but anyway, we'll talk about that on our next one. I know we want to cover some AI.
What did you think of this
Dude,
one,
I
real
mean,
quick?
off the bat,
It's
I
an
really like
AI.
the chart. Overall, it's bullish. It's going to break out very soon. So this is one to definitely add on, add your bags on, because look at that. It's ready. I mean, just let it bounce here a little bit more, and then it's just going to continue to go. And only 21 million market.
Yeah, and I haven't done full research on it, but basically, there's AI startup that got I think 20 million in funding, so they probably got valued at like over 150 million or whatever. And basically, they don't have a token yet, but they've come out with this, which is essentially an on-chain LLM, uh, large language model, an AI model that's run on chain, and I think you get rewarded. It's like kind of like you get rewarded for using it, but on top of that, people are also speculating that using this and holding this token is going to get you an airdrop for that AI
Hmm.
protocol that has like 20 million funding. So I think under the radar, potentially sleeper pick for
Yeah.
AI. And looking at a couple AI coins, we did an AI show I think last week, but this is definitely one of the ones I'm looking to potentially buy.
Yeah. No, I like this one again. Let me just really quickly look at the. I just want to look at the Twitter. Do you know how the Twitter is? Any good followers?
Yeah, I mean, like this is a
Oh,
legit project. It's not a meme
okay.
coin. It's a legit AI project. They have a product. Uh, it's not vaporware. It doesn't seem like vaporware. Like it's a real team behind it.
Very
So
bullish. Very bullish. Well, maybe next time we can.
just look at the website and the Twitter real quick. Like you can tell, you know, it's the
All right,
real
give me a
deal.
second here. But I think we'll end it on
And the
this one.
chart to me looks like it's
Yeah,
coiling up,
yeah.
right? Like gonna it's gonna make its move soon,
The
I think.
chart looks like like madness. So hold on, let me see if where it is. Here it is. Yeah, I mean this one looks really good.
Trustless
Yeah,
AI.
I mean it's got 100.
So this is the startup I was telling you. This is so go down. This isn't so. These guys released the token, this Aura
Mhm.
protocol, and if you look, they're backed by a Polychain. Polychains are like basically the best crypto hedge fund out
Mhm.
there, and but they haven't released a token. They've This is like their test token. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Holy crap, man. That's big. I would definitely
Yeah, and you could get the airdrop. I mean, it could be a
I
narrative,
would
man.
definitely
I
ape on
think
this one. It's something to definitely look at.
it's an AI oracle. It's like an AI
Yeah.
chain link, kind of.
Poof. Yeah.
No idea what that means, but it's it's got it's got
Yeah.
the right
If it sounds
buzzword.
pretty, it's gonna rip. All right, man. Do you want
Yeah,
to add anything else?
I think we're good, man. I think we dropped a lot of sauce, a lot of unexpected sauce, and there's just a lot of opportunity right now. Like I'm gonna start just spending insane amounts of time in front of a
Yeah.
screen because I think the opportunities in the next 3 to 6 months, they're just gonna be life changing type of opportunities that you need to be kind of glued. If you're not locked in, you're gonna miss
I,
out.
I would
So that's kind of how I'm looking
I
at
would
it.
definitely say make your list now and prepare for what's to come, right? Because this right now is a perfect time for preparation, right? You have your I wouldn't make my list more than 6 7 coins. I'd leave it at that amount because once you're ready to
Yeah.
deploy, you have your AI, you have your meme narrative, and you have your maybe L1 narrative, and that should be enough, right? Because the more I think that the more you drown yourself with more points and more possibilities, the more paralysis you have when the time it is to deploy your capital, right? So I would say, if you guys are watching this, make sure to have a very short list. Don't make it big if you want to make big gains. That's what I got to say about that.
Yeah, and I think personally, I'm gonna start like rotating much more, uh, and just trying to compound like those gains. But also looking for like long term holds, like it's asymmetric bets, kind of like a triple A, or like some of these L1 memes we looked at the beginning, like asymmetric bets. Obviously not a big size of your portfolio, but could pay
Yep,
off a
that too.
lot. If the thesis plays out. So that's really the strategy for the next couple
Yep.
weeks.
All right. Make sure you guys follow us on Telegram, Twitter, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.